Hello and welcome to another 3 levels deep tier list. I'm Santo, and we got ourselves Matt with here.
Welcome.
And today we're going to be ranking some things that are very near and dear to our hearts, and that is the Pokemon starters and their evolutions. Now, we got this tier list from Tier Maker, which has some superfluous characters that we're not going to be ranking here.
We're just focusing purely on the Gen 1 to 9 starters. And we're judging their evolutionary line as a whole. We're not judging the Pokemon individually. It's the line as a whole.
Yeah, so some of these evolutionary lines will have to carry the weight of their middle evolution pretty heavily, but we'll see how that goes as we get to them. So we're going to be going in order from the different generations. So we're going to start with Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, and Venusaur. Number 1, 2, and 3 at the very start of the Pokedex.
I think we both feel very similar on this one.
Yeah, I feel that Bulbasaur is the correct decision for Gen 1.
Yep.
From a gameplay perspective, not even if you're considering like the design. From a gameplay perspective, Bulbasaur is like the way to go because it goes right first Rock Gym, then Water Gym.
And then Electric Gym, which it has an advantage over.
Yeah, it resists that. And then, Grass Gym, which, it's typing in Gen 1 was weird. There's a lot of grass poison types like Bulbasaur line here, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, it's just like so good. I Now for the entire line here, I gotta say I'm not a big fan of Venusaur, honestly.
Really?
In terms of just design, like that's what
I love Venusaur.
That's what we're mostly going to be ranking them here. Like I mentioned, the viability and whatever. Like I don't really care all that much about that. I care more about the lines and the colors on these bad boys. Yeah. Well, okay. I'm not saying like it should. Because I don't like Venusaur all that much. It should be like C tier. I think this Bulbasaur line is an A tier for me.
I would personally say S.
Ooh. Okay. Okay.
Still remains one of my one of, if not my favorite starter line.
But how much of that is nostalgia? We're already being contentious on the very first one. This is gonna go great. Okay, well, and okay, just to make this less cluttered for the people that are actually watching through the entire video instead of skipping to the end, how about we just put the first starter up here to represent the entire line?
It makes it easier to also represent the line within the tier if we start ranking them within the tier itself as well.
There were a few on Tier Maker here that had the full like evolutionary line in one icon, but they didn't include Gen 9, the Paldean boys. So we decided not to use them, and we're too lazy to make our own.
Yeah.
So
we also don't know why Meryl's line is here.
Yeah. Not quite sure what these guys are doing here, but whatever. So you really feel that strongly about Bulbasaur and S tier?
I love Bulbasaur.
Okay. I'll let you have that one, but I might ask for a favor down the line then.
Okay.
All right. Next we've got Charmander, Charmeleon, and Charizard.
If you asked me back in the days of Gen 1, I would have said S tier. But now the way Game Freak has forced Charizard down my throat, it's gone down quite a few tiers.
I still like the line quite a bit. This is one of the lines where I like the simplicity of the changes between the evolution, where it doesn't. They're pretty similar to each other. Some of the other lines, like the first and second, are like very different, and it's like, oh, okay, that's kind of weird. But I like this. I played Pokemon Red as a kid, so Charizard. I know I get what you're saying about him being completely overexposed, but he still holds a decently high place in my heart. I would be okay putting these in B tier.
B tier sounds good to me.
Yeah. That's the thing, is that like there's a lot of tiers here. I'm not entirely sure how many starter lines are going to be going in the lower tiers because
Yeah.
like they're really really good. So that makes me kind of want to be more harsh to them. That's why I said Bulbasaur in A tier, for example. But so yeah, don't be too mad if we rate your guys low. All right, next, Squirtle, Wartortle, and Blastoise. Now, this is kind of the reason why I didn't necessarily want to go like in order because I think this is the best line overall out of any of them. Like the designs are so good.
Yeah. I can agree with that.
You got Squirtle, Squirtle Squad. Everybody loves a
Yep.
Squirtle. Wartortle, he's got that big fluffy tail. He's like got a
Those,
little bit of
those,
the anger
and
in him.
those like fluffy ears as well, or
Yeah,
whatever they
like
are.
that's a great evolution. And then Blastoise, like it's pretty sick that they came up with this idea in Gen 1 to have this
Oh
big
yeah.
tortoise with the freaking shoulder cannons. Like I love this entire line here. So I want to put it at the very, very top right now.
Yeah, I can agree.
Okay, nice. All right, going on to Gen 2 here. We got Chikorita, Bayleaf, and Meganium. Uh, I I like Bayleaf a lot. The other two not so much. They're kind of meh for me.
I've always liked the Chikorita line, but yeah, they do look kind of plain. Um, but yeah, Bayleaf is definitely the best looking of the bunch for sure. Uh, how are you feeling about this one? I'm fine
Like
with this being lower.
yeah, I because I like one of them in the line. I think maybe C tier, or
Yeah,
if I want to be harsh, D tier.
mm, I'm fine with C tier.
Okay, sure.
C tier for Chikorita.
Oh, great. Okay, well, and S tier for Squirtle. Let's go. All right, so Bulbasaur in B tier, Charmander in C tier. Okay. All right, next we got Cyndaquil, Quilava, and Typhlosion.
I love this line.
I loved this line, past tense.
Oh,
3D happened,
oh yeah,
and then Typhlosion got exposed real badly.
yeah.
Like the fact that the flames can go out and he just looks sad, like that hurt it for me. I still think Cyndaquil and Quilava are bangers, but seeing how Typhlosion was treated in 3D made me really look at Typhlosion a lot more. And even with the flames on, he looks kind of weird to me now.
Yeah, there's a lot of Pokemon that did not get very treated very well in the transition to 3D, and Typhlosion is definitely one of the front runners of that.
Yeah, he just looks like something's missing. Honestly, like you got like the ratio of flame to body in Cyndaquil and Quilava is so much more than
Yeah,
Typhlosion.
and like Quilava has flame on the top of its head and on his butt.
Yeah, Quilava is one of my favorite
Look
of
at the
any
way
of the
he's standing.
starters. Yeah, he's awesome. So I can't put this in like the S tier that I want to put a Johto starter line in.
Yeah,
Um, I it's like how far does Typhlosion push it down? Is really the question here. Like I'm like, does it push it down all the way to B, or not?
I. Oh, that's tough. Oh no, yeah, could be B, maybe low A once we
Uh,
start getting more stuff in there. But I mean, yeah, B. B's good.
yeah, okay. Next, we've got Totodile, Croconaw, and Feraligatr. It's very important to point out. Gator,
Yep.
G-A-T-R.
Oh, only spelt that way because character limit at the time.
Yeah. But they didn't decide to, change its name to something else. They just Feraligatr is
Yep.
such a good
They
pun.
stuck with it. It's good.
Yeah.
Um,
This is a line for me that was definitely helped by some clips from the anime. Made me like Totodile a whole lot more. Just biting onto everything. Um, I think they're all right.
Yeah,
I don't think they're anything special,
like
personally.
I like Totodile. I like Feraligatr. I personally think the line's brought down a little bit by Croconaw, but not too
Oh,
much.
he looks like a caveman. Like, I was
Like,
gonna say the exact opposite. Like, I think Croconaw's the
yeah.
highlight. Like, for alligator is the one that's like kind of meh for me. But these are pretty good. I'd say maybe bottom of B tier.
Yeah,
Sounds good for me.
I like that.
All right.
Getting into Gen 3 now.
Yeah. Okay. Now we got Trico, Grovyle, and Sceptile. I'm just gonna say it right now. Grovyle is my favorite middle evolution. He looks sick, and
Grovyle is really nice.
I
Yeah.
really hate Sceptile. I just don't like the look of him. I don't
Yeah.
like the progression from Grovyle to Sceptile. They look too different to me. Uh, and I don't know, the just like the
Like
big huge tail I'm not into.
like Trico's head becomes so much more streamlined and then it goes back.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. But like at the same time, like Trico kind of has a big tail, but then Grovyle doesn't, and then Sceptile has a huge
Yeah.
one. So yeah, this one's kind of tough for me because I really like the first two, but I really just Sceptile just rubs me the wrong way. What
Uh
are you feeling on this?
yeah, I think I'm feeling the same. So I don't know. What are you thinking? Maybe like C with Chikorita there or
Ooh, I like the
uh,
first two too much to put them there. I'll put them at bottom of B.
B? Okay.
Yeah,
I can agree
they're
with that.
better or worse than Totodile line.
Oh, I think Totodile's better.
Okay. Okay, next we've got Torchic,
The first
Combuskin, and Blaziken.
the start of a trend.
Yes, the firefighters down at your local fire hall. Combuskin looks stupid.
Yeah.
Blaziken looks
Yep.
awesome. And Torchic's pretty good, a pretty solid starter. So this is like kind of the same kind of thing with a few of these that we've had where one of them just kind of brings it down. But Blaziken's like my favorite. So
Yeah. And I like it shiny, even though it's one of those ones that's just like very subtly different.
yeah, but like
I
the darker
like
red
it.
looks
I
pretty
like
good.
it. Um, I don't know. I could go A with this. A's looking kind of sparse. I don't know about you.
I mean, okay, I know you want to put it there because there's nothing there yet, but I just can't, in good conscience, put
Because of
Combuskin in
Combuskin,
A tier. I just can't.
B tier.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a B tier, below Cyndaquil, above Charmander.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. All right. Next we got Mudkip, uh, Marshtomp, and Swampert.
Marshtomp did not transition well to 3D.
Really, I haven't played Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, so I've been saved from that. Uh, oh dear Lord. He um he looks like he looks like a figure of Marshtomp.
Yeah,
Like there's
like
no
a
expression
cheap
there.
figure.
Oh dear. That's rough. But the rest of them are very solid. It's a okay. B tier is looking real filled up right now, which is an issue because I want to put these guys in B tier
Like
too.
looking at I do think like yeah, Marshtomp definitely brings it down. I'm okay with Swampert. I think Mudkip's the strongest of this line. Look at it. Look
I
at
mean,
it.
you don't get a meme made out of you
No.
for nothing. Okay, I guess this is another B tier. We might have to. Okay, hold on. We got to think about this for a second. I think we need to. Okay, how about we remove E tier? I don't see anything happening in E tier.
Yeah, we need to reduce the tiers.
The number of tiers. Okay, how about reduce E tier, and then uh because like so many of these I see being in B tier just from a cursory glance here. Uh, are there any in B tier that we think should go up?
I mean, so I think, like, if anything, maybe Cyndaquil and Torchic.
I've got to put Cyndaquil up.
Cyndaquil for sure.
Torchic gets to
top,
stay at
top
the
of
top.
B, so at that time, but now alone in A. Yeah.
And, well, I mean, a lot of these earlier ones are also going to be pretty solid because
Yeah.
these are the earlier ones. These are the ones that the nostalgia heartstrings tie into. Okay, so the Mudkip line. I still think it's probably still B tier, maybe top
Yeah.
of C.
I'd say bottom of B.
Okay, sure. All right, now Gen 4. This is where I might miss on some of these names, but let's just go. So Turtwig, Grovyle, not Grovyle,
No.
Grotle.
Oh, Grotle, yeah.
Grovyle was over here. And Torterra. Remember what I said about Blaze can be my favorite earlier? I lied. Torterra is my favorite of any kind of starter.
Definitely my favorite of the Gen 4 starter lines right here.
But I'm not the biggest fan of the first two evolutions, but Torterra just looks so thick.
Torterra is fantastic.
Unfortunately, again, like I think Turtwig looks pretty basic, and Grotle I don't like how Grotle looks all that much.
He's okay.
He's forgettable.
He very much looks like the middle of this line.
Yeah, true.
He's not out of place or anything, but it's just kind of... They're all kind of just a path to get to Torterra.
Yeah. So, where does he go? Is he another B tier, or did we put him at the top of C?
Top of C?
Okay. All right. Next, we've got Chimchar, Monferno, and Infernape. This is definitely one that has an upward trend, in my opinion. I think Chimchar looks stupid. He looks like a baby.
Yeah. Big head, tiny arms.
Yeah, like he... And maybe it's just like I'm also just like conflating him with the Fire Monkey from 5th Gen and how I don't like that at all either.
Yeah.
Just like... So I don't like this line all that much, even with the evolutions. I think Monferno looks kind of cool with the blue. But Infernape, I don't know, looks a bit much. Like if I had my choice, I'd put this as our first D tier.
I think I can agree with that.
Okay.
Not F, but
Monferno looks kind of cool, and Infernape is okay. Chimchar's bad looking though. Yeah. Just Chimchar would be an F tier. Okay, next we got Piplup, Prinplup, and Empoleon.
Yep.
Water Steel and as the final evolution is pretty sick.
Yeah.
But Prinplup looks really stupid.
This is another situation where it's dragged down a bit by the middle evolution.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. You're going to be hearing a lot of that going forward. It seems like the middle evolution really started to go downhill in 4th Gen here. But I like this line well enough.
Yeah.
Like the first and last are really good. Empoleon with the trident head.
Yep. It's a good line, and I could say, I don't know, B tier?
Okay. I like Marshtomp better than Prinplup, so I don't want to put it above Mudkip here. Okay. All right, 5th Gen time. We got Snivy, Servine, and Superior. This is a good line right here.
Yeah.
Servine kind of looks a bit dopey with the little tiny leaf hands.
But that's kind of the point, because it's losing its limbs as it's evolving.
Yeah, from the smug leaf to the absolute superior snake.
It's so good.
Yeah, I like this quite a bit. I want to put it above Cyndaquil.
I can agree with that.
Okay. All right, next. We got Tepig, Embor's the last one, isn't it? Pignite. All right, okay. Pignite's
it's a good name. It's a good name.
All three of them has pretty good names, but in terms of design, I'm not
a fan.
do absolutely nothing for me. Tepig's kind of cute, but the other ones
Yeah.
are kind of whatever. Like,
Like I see what they're going for with Pig Knight. It looks like he's wearing a unitard.
he kind of looks like Bam Bam Bigelow, the wrestler. If you've ever seen his tights that he wears, so that's kind of all right. But Embor doesn't pass the muster for a starter Pokemon design, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I think
And
this
that,
is either a D or I don't know if I want to put it in an F. It's one of these two for me.
ooh, I mean, yeah, that's tough. Cause
I like trying to look ahead and like, okay, who would I put in F tier? I think that there's definitely one line that I put in F tier.
I think low D.
Yeah,
Just because Tepig's pretty cute.
yeah, okay.
That kind
Tepig
of
gets a
saves it.
pass. All right.
In fact, I think I'd put it above Chimchar personally.
I'm okay with that. Okay, next we got Oshawott, DeWatt, mate, and Samurott.
To me, this is a line that immediately starts going downhill after Oshawott.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
really like Samurott. I mean, it's like kind of the transition from Dewott to Samurai is pretty abrupt, but I think Dewott looks stupid. I
Yeah.
don't like the color scheme he's got going on. They got rid of the white completely.
Like I don't hate Samurot's design, but it just doesn't really look like it ties in.
Uh, yeah, but it
Like,
still looks sick though.
yeah.
It's got the big mustache. You know how I love mustaches on Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
So like I think this is and like Oshawott's all right. I don't mind
Oshawott's
Oshawott.
adorable.
So maybe C tier then.
Yeah, I'm fine with C.
Okay. Okay, now we're into sixth gen Kalos X and Y. So we've got Chespin,
Chespin.
Quilladin, and Chestnut.
Chestnut, yeah.
This is maybe the weirdest line of any of them because like
yeah.
Chestnut completely changes the color scheme from the first two, and Quilladin, no,
Yeah.
I do not like Quilladin
And
whatsoever.
Chespin just looks like grass Oshawott.
Uh, a little bit actually. Now that they mention it,
I think
he's got a better smile.
for me this might be F. For me personally, this might be my first
Ooh,
F tier on here.
Yeah, it's tough for me to argue otherwise. I like Chespin a fair amount, like so maybe D tier, but like Quilladin and Chestnut are
Yeah.
really bringing it down. So sorry Chespin. Like I almost switch this out with Quilladin just because this feels wrong to me. But
Don't worry, Chespin. It's a high F tier.
sure, yeah. just hold the B button when you're evolving. All right,
Yeah.
grab an
Everstone.
Everstone. Okay, next we got Fennekin, Braixen, and Delphox. Now, these are some anthropomorphized
Yeah.
Pokemon over here. I don't really like Delphox all that much. I don't even like Fennekin all that much. I think Braixen actually looks kind of cool.
Yeah.
Looking.
It's kind of the like I can see the jump throughout the evolution chain, but yeah, no Delphox is the best looking one here. I don't know, I'm kind of just okay on the line. I don't love it, I don't hate it.
Yeah, I feel the same way, but for starter Pokemon, I think don't love it, don't hate it is still below C tier because
Yeah.
like the standards are so high. It feels wrong to put just like another fire type in here, but yeah,
Sorry, fire types.
I'm gonna put it at the top again. I think Braixen looks cool. Okay, next we've got Froakie,
Frogadier.
that's it, and Greninja. Controversial opinion here. I don't like Greninja that much.
No.
And I don't like the rest of this line either.
Really?
Like the I wish I had a higher res picture of Greninja here, but his proportions are insane if you really look at them. I like the tongue scarf. That's a cool
Yep.
little touch they got there, but I don't know. He seems overrated and overpushed to me. Like,
Yeah, it's I like it personally, but it's kind of it definitely in that same category as Charizard, where they've just tried to push it so much to even the point where in the anime they give it a unique mega not mega evolution to Ash.
yeah, and then like that's reflected in the game. It's literally Ash Greninja in the game,
Yeah.
which is weird. Ash isn't supposed to exist in those games. He's anime only, as far as I'm concerned. But okay, let's table the Greninja discussion right now. How do you feel about Froakie and Frogadier?
Um, I think Frogadier is kind of just okay. It's just like kind of your average middle evolution.
Yeah, I agree.
But I do think Frokie's pretty cute.
Okay, I don't really know where to put these guys. I'd probably put them in, honestly, F tier for me. Maybe bottom of D. But if you like Greninja, then we can go higher.
Maybe low C then.
Low C, okay.
Yeah.
Above or below Oshawott?
Ooh. Above.
Okay. What about Chikorita?
Uh, I'd say it's fine there.
Okay, great. Okay, Gen what, 7? Is Alola?
Yes.
Okay, so we got Rowlet, Dartrix, and Decidueye.
I really like this line.
Yeah?
Look at Rowlet. Look at that round little burb.
Yeah.
And then you got like the butler. Like he looks like a butler.
Yeah, he's a very fancy boy. And then you've got Decidueye, like the ghost archer owl. Such
Yeah.
a legit concept right there. I'm a big fan of the owl Pokemon in general. So I like this line a fair amount. I don't know. Okay, how are you feeling on it? Which tier are you feeling to put this one?
I could go B tier.
B tier. Okay, we're putting him in A tier then.
A tier. Okay, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, like I like this quite a bit. I think bottom of A tier is pretty good for it. But yeah. Next, we've got Litten, Torracat, and Incineroar. I absolutely adore this line. It took me a little bit to like really like figure out how much I actually like this line, but Torracat is another one of these middle evolutions that I think looks sick. Like it just it has a bit of personality on it, honestly.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the better middle evolutions. It though it's still kind of a bit weird seeing just the first two evolutions just being quadrupeds. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
And then just up onto his 2 feet.
I mean,
I do like the line.
I mean, yeah, I sure, but on the other hand, he needed to get up on 2 feet so that he can climb the ropes and drop an elbow on you because Incineroar is the best. Freaking the heal Pokemon. Like, are you kidding me? I mean, I know they did the Hawlucha in X and Y, but then they just decided to double down on having a wrestler as a Pokemon and making it one of the starters. That's awesome. Like, no joke, I would put these guys in S.
And being dark type as well and being classified as the heal Pokemon.
Yeah, it's so good.
And what tier did you say?
I want to put these guys in S.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. All right, I know we're making some friends right now. We're putting with this one. Like, I cannot wait for people to roast us. Okay, next we got Poplio, Brionne, and Primarina. I think is what it is.
I believe that's
okay.
it.
I like Poplio. I think he's a fun little guy.
Yeah.
Vaporeon is really whatever.
Yeah.
And I wish we had a higher picture of Primarina here. Maybe I'll add one in. I don't know. But I don't like the spikes that she has on her tail. I think it's like a touch over designed
Yeah.
and weird to me for like a water fairy type to just have a bunch of spikes on them. Like when it's supposed to be this like kind of like it's like kind of a singer kind of Pokemon. Maybe they were going for like a siren type gimmick there.
Yeah, I think that's what they're definitely what they're going for. And this is a line where to me, because like all starters, they're weighted more to much more towards being male.
Yes, that is true.
This is
for whatever reason.
This is yeah, I don't know why it's not just 50-50. This is a line that feels like it should be weighted the opposite direction.
I mean, yeah, like same with like the Fennekin line maybe. But
Yeah.
like whatever. Pokemon genders make no sense.
Yeah.
And don't think too hard about them. About the fact that you could have female Mr. Mimes in Gen 2. So yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of this line outside of Popplio. I think this is a solid D tier for me.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Okay. And I like it better than those idiots. I'll put it below Fennekin unless you feel strongly.
I personally I do think Primarina. I do like Primarina more than Delphox.
Okay,
I'd
sure.
say it's a little higher.
Okay, next the Galar boys, and we're starting with Grookey, Thwackey, and Rillaboom. I like the concept of the drum ape.
Yep.
I think that this second try at a monkey line for starters was much better than the first.
Oh, I agree. I'm not a big fan of Thwackey though.
Yeah, it was kind of weird how they kind of like took Grookey's like eye color here and just made that the default for him, but then went to a completely different color scheme for Rillaboom. They didn't. I don't know what they were doing here. But I like these guys okay. They're fine.
Yeah, I like them. They're definitely. I mean, they're not one of my favorite lines, but
it's a solid concept executed nicely.
To me, I think they're I think it's the best line of Gen 8 for me personally.
Okay, we'll disagree there, but we'll get to that. So I like these guys maybe at the top of C.
Yeah.
Okay.
That works for me.
All right, now we have my favorite line from Gen A: Score Bunny, Raboot, and Cinderace. Come on. They made a Pokemon region based around England and had a freaking footballing rabbit.
Yeah.
Score Bunny is my pick for like the cutest starter. I love this little dude. And Raboot just looks like so like
I think they were
done with everything.
I think they were going for like a football hooligan.
Yeah, and that's kind of what they were going for, and it totally worked. He has pockets on him as well, which is hilarious.
How many other Pokemon have pockets? Kangaskhan?
Yeah, and that's kind of it as far as we can tell. And then Cinderace is I think the weakest of the three, but I think he still looks all right. So I like this line.
It goes from full on like football fan to player.
Yeah, like this is your left wing right here.
I do still think it's a pretty solid line though.
Like I like it enough to put it in B. I know you said that the Grookey line was your favorite, but
I can agree with B.
Okay. Now as far as where in B, I'd put it above Mudkip, below Trico personally. Do you have any objections to that?
No.
Okay. Okay. Next, we've got Sobble, Drizzile, and Inteleon. I like aspects of this line, but I don't like this line.
I think Chespin's making a friend.
I unfortunately agree. I kind of like the secret agent Pokemon of Intellion's kind of neat, but he's just bootleg Gex,
Yeah.
which that's a bad spot to be in.
Bootleg. No one wants to be bootleg Gex.
Yeah, was already bootleg Gex. And then Drizzile here looking like an emo
Yeah,
teen,
it's his
like
emo phase.
which that's kind of interesting and clever to have an emo middle starter. So like I'm gonna put him above Chespin for that because that's like something.
Yeah,
As much
it's
as I like
something.
Chespin, as much as I like Chespin, this was actually a concept that they execute on
Yeah,
instead of just kind of I don't know what they were doing with the
instead of just
Chespin line.
inflating into a ball and then just completely changing it up.
And then yeah, just completely changing your color scheme. Okay, now we've got the latest group here. So these are the ones I'm gonna have trouble with the names because I only remember the names of the ones I picked, which were Quaxley. So Sprigatito.
Sprigatito,
Eh,
I'm drawing a blank on
whatever
that
that,
one
and
too.
Meowscarada was the last
Masquerada,
one. I'm
yeah.
pretty sure.
Yeah, that's the line I chose. I liked it.
I think this is like the exact same as Fennekin's line to me personally. It evokes the same reaction, except I don't like the middle starter as much as I do Braixen. Sprigatito's better than Fennekin, and I think Meowscarada is better than Delphox, but not by those are not by much. And okay, you picked this line and you don't remember the middle starter's name. That says something.
I don't. Not off the top of my head right now. I can't remember.
Okay, well,
It gives Puss in Boots vibes.
all right. Well, where do you want to put this line?
Uh, I'd be fine with C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like
I'd say close to the bottom of C because I don't
yeah.
really agree with you there, but
Yeah, I could go like right at the bottom of C.
okay, sure. All right.
I liked the line more than I thought I would.
Okay. But I mean, okay, of the three, like this one was like the I remember you saying in Discord like please don't anthropomorphize this
Yeah,
cat.
don't stand up, please.
And they did.
And they did. But I actually ended up, despite that, I don't know, I actually ended up kind of liking it.
Yeah, like Meowscarada has a gimmick being like the, masquerade like magician kind of
Yeah.
thing. Like that's something. Now, a Pokemon that kind of took the opposite approach was Fuecoco here, who decided to stop being on two legs and go and get a hunchback.
Fuecoco's great.
Yeah.
Fuecoco's design is great.
It's
He's so derpy that it's just like it's endearing.
it's just like off-brand Bubble Bobble, but I'm totally here for that. And then we got this.
And he's got like just a slice of like a craft single on his chest.
Yeah, I don't know why. The middle guy, who unfortunately I forget the name of.
I
Go
can't
something.
I can't remember it either.
Yeah, but he's got like the flame sombrero. He looks kind of dope too. And then Skeledirge. I'm not a big fan of what they did with like how they
Give
put
him
egg
the
there.
sombrero and then just
Well,
nothing.
Well, the sombrero is surrounding the egg, which becomes a little bird on Skeledirge's little snout here. But I don't like the bird thing. I don't know why that's there. I think it takes away a little bit because I like Skeledirge quite a bit.
Yeah, it's
Like Skeledirge is one of the few that like is on four legs of all these starters. Like not a lot of them are. A lot of them start standing up and getting more upright.
yeah, I do like
He went landscape mode.
like I like it I don't know, it's a weird, the line feels a bit disconnected to me. Cuz like Fuecoco is just like derpy and adorable. I'm not the biggest fan of the Metal Evolution, but then it just becomes this really badass looking thing. I do think it's definitely a bit of a stronger one though. Like,
All right.
I don't know how do you feel?
I really like Fuecoco. But the other two are pretty solid too. So I'm pretty high on this. I think it's maybe a B, maybe even an A, depending on how far we want to push Fuecoco.
I I think I could agree with low A.
Low A?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think it beats out Rowlet, though.
No.
All right, next, and actually last, because, I mean, you can see we got these, other ones here, but, like, uh, the Pikachu line doesn't really count, because, hell, you never get to pick a Pichu. You get to pick Pikachu, and then you don't get to
then
evolve
doesn't
it ever.
evolve. And then same with Eevee and Let's Go Eevee. It's just Eevee. It doesn't evolve.
Yeah, and, like, I mean, if we were picking evolutionary lines for anything, Eevee would top the list, because Eevee's the best. But that just doesn't count. Then there's also the Hisuyans and whatever. I don't know why Meryl is here, but again, if that was an actual choice, yes, Azumarill to the fucking top. But no, we got Quaxley, Quaxwell, and Quackovel. And this was, as somebody who didn't look up spoilers and picked Quaxley because he looked like a cool little duck.
He does look like a cool little duck.
With like a
Pompadour.
There's like kind of like grooming and whatever. It's kind of cool. I was not very pleased when I evolved it into Quaxwell, and very, very surprised when I evolved it to Quackovel.
It's not great.
Okay, Quaxwell kind of looks dumb. I actually really like Quackovel's design, as silly as it is. Quackovel looks a lot better in motion, I'll say that. His run animation is really funny, and his attack animations are really good, despite the fact that he's constantly wiggling his ass at you. But
I was always fighting him, so I never saw that.
yeah, you never saw the glorious back view with his like freaking shelf of an ass. Like you could put a flower pot on that thing easily. Okay, so I think this is pretty C tier for me. Maybe D tier, depending. You said you weren't the biggest fan of this line.
No.
Okay.
Like I think for me it's carried by Quaxley.
Okay.
I could even go low C if you're feeling that.
Sure. Okay, low C then. Because, Quax is a cool duck. Much better than Ducklet. The other water duck. And I was also shocked. I could have sworn this thing was going to evolve into a flying type, but nope. Fighting type. All right, so that's the list. Is this looking all right for you? Anything you want to move? Anything egregious?
No, nothing standing out. I think it looks all right.
All right, and it's almost a bell curve. If we had one more that we could put in F tier.
Ooh.
Okay, there we go. We're done. And all right, so that's our Pokemon Starter Evolution Line tier list. Hope you enjoyed, and I look forward to seeing the many opinions that people might put down in the comments below, saying on how we roasted their favorites. But that's the great thing about Pokemon, is that everybody's got their favorites, and nobody's wrong.
Nobody. Nope.
Nobody's wrong, but I will say we are correct. And yeah, so thanks for watching, and check out the rest of the channel for other stuff. Later.
See ya.